Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Magic Bricks Hangout series. Our endeavor is to trigger a buy and bring back consumer confidence in the real estate market. The topic of today's session is Bangalore Realty, top real estate markets to look in 2016. Today, our hangout is with Mr. Pratik Mehta. He's the managing director of Unishire. Pratik Mehta joined Unishire in 2007 in the current capacity, and since then he has been instrumental in bringing the company to its current heights. He is an engineer graduate from Bangalore. He brings with him understanding about technical engineering specifications required for building smart structures to adorn city's skyline. Prior to Unishire, he started his ad agency, which was into animation. However, his intimate desire of giving Bangalore its iconic trademark building soon brought him to Unishire. Today, we also have Neha Nagpal. She'll be taking up the queries, consumer queries. So without any further delay, let's take up the queries now. Over to you, Neha.
Yeah, thank you, Pushpa. Mr. Mehta, let's start with the overall view of Bangalore reality. Before we take up our first question, how do you see Bangalore real estate for a consumer, specifically the one who would like to buy into residential market? We know that there is a high demand for the projects which are under 40 to 70 lakh of a range. So, how do you see that particular market for these kind of consumers?
Well, for consumers, in fact, Bangalore has always been a great market, irrespective. The price points have been fairly stable. If you notice over the past few years, buying in Bangalore has always been, there is never a market to time in Bangalore per se. And I think with all these negative, sentiments about the other markets percolating into Bangalore, I think that's a misnomer, because in Bangalore margins have been fairly reasonable and developers have been fairly operating on a transparent model. So I think it's a great market for developers as well as buyers. And I reckon buyers should not delay their decisions on buying homes and hoping for prices to come down further, because I think we are operating in one of the most, lucrative, most reasonable margins, and the product that we offer is far superior than what you normally see in development in India today. So I think it's a great market for both. Yes, 2015 has been a little dull for developers, so I do expect better incentives to consumers, better deals that consumers can possibly get, maybe better payment schemes that they can possibly bargain with developers. And I'm sure that 2015, because of the certain issues and negativity in the market, developers are certainly concentrating on completing all the existing projects. And if you see, no new launches have happened in 2015. So again, the demand would increase in 16, and maybe a certain amount of price correction that we could see in terms of an increase, because the construction cost has increased substantially over the last 2 years. So it's a good market for both buyers as well as for developers in 2016.
Okay. Let me take the first query, sir. This is Raju from Whitefield, who would like to ask you that, Bangalore is one of the states to have the highest unsold inventory. Right. What initiatives are you undertaking to bring buyers back to the market?
See, buyers, one is in terms of the unsold inventory. In fact, all the current data certainly showcases that about 1 lakh homes are unsold in the current market today. So even if you look at an inventory overhang with 40-50,000 homes being sold year on year, you're looking at about 15 months for the entire existing inventory to be absorbed. And in 2015, 60% drop in inventory of new launches that have come in. So I don't perceive the current supply situation to go beyond a certain point. And I think 2016, all the leftover stock should be possibly absorbed. And we would look at, again, a demand situation being created in next year as well.
Okay.
So I don't perceive any alarming nature of the inventory levels, because the absorption has been fairly consistent in Bangalore also. So 2015, 40,000 units sold, again, is fairly consistent with our previous record absorption levels as well.
Right. So since you are telling me about the absorption and selling the about the sold inventory, which particular category you have seen the maximum absorption which has taken place in terms of residential property? I mean, in terms of type of property and the budget category.
Primarily in Bangalore, because of the ITES as well as now the e-commerce, most of the people are affording homes in the range of about 50 to 75 lakh rupees, because based on their salary with their double incomes, they would be able to avail loans and credit facilities from banks. So primarily in the range of 50 to 75 lakhs is where we see maximum demand being and maximum number of consumer requirements that have come in. Yes, there is a possibility that there are certain industries in the manufacturing side where where developers haven't been able to cater to because of the land prices, which are in the price points of about 35 to 45 lakh rupees, and we do see that area also growing in 2016.
Right, right. So another query which is from Sandeep Roshan, he asks, I'm planning to buy land in Vadrahali, which is near to Sri Raghavendra Swami temple.
Okay.
Advise whether it is feasible to buy there.
Well, buying land in Bangalore, every area of Bangalore, in fact, has potentially, given good returns. My only advice to the consumer is to evaluate what are the near possible options in that vicinity. Is the project approved from the relevant authorities? How far is it from the various key in terms of accessibility? These are the few points that they would have to evaluate. Are there any metro stations planned or in the future which could possibly improve the price points in that particular micro market if you're looking at investment or for an end user as well in the future?
Right. I would like you to elaborate on these things. What one should really check before looking for a property in a particular area. Can we just have an elaborate answer, sir?
Sure. When you if you classify, say, plotted development, in a plotted development, primarily you have to look at what are the approvals that they have received, because primarily a lot of cases that we've seen in Bangalore where the basic approvals are not in place and they just earmark the land with the roads and they sell the plots at a far discounted price than the competitors. So
right.
I think that is first and foremost. Legal titles obviously is something that needs to be checked. And certainly, in terms of what are the prices in the vicinity, as well as I think market data is available nowadays online, so you come to know easily as to what are the competitors offering in that micro market, as well as what has been the development over the past few years, and you can, you check on the appreciation and the other parameters of the geography and the particular micro market and location in that neighborhood to evaluate the same. Whereas for an apartment, yes, certainly the same factors hold good, and you need to check on the sanction plans as well of the developer, as well as what are the timelines that they had committed to the previous buyers. I think now social media as well as online, groups available where you can inquire with the price points, not only the price points, primarily what stage of the project has, where has it been launched at what time, as well as what is the current, and is it on track or fairly manageable in terms of a completion of timeline is a critical factor, and I think that needs to be checked primarily, apart from the legal titles as well as the sanction plan approvals. Yes.
Right, right. Another query is from Chandini. What is the budget range of properties being offered by Unishire Group specifically? Is there a room for price negotiation for us? She wants to know.
Yes, well, negotiation, I think that's a norm which everybody is expecting in Bangalore, but otherwise, Unishire has been offering properties from a range of about 50 lakh rupees as an entry price. I'm looking at all-inclusive price points.
The starting price, right?
Starting price is 50 lakh rupees, and we are primarily, catering to the North Bangalore market, as well as now we have projects in the South Bangalore towards Banagata Road, and we are proposing to launch a project in the East Bangalore Whitefield market as well. So these are, the budget starts from 50 lakh rupees, and we have been fairly offering a good product at the right value, at the right pricing. So the room for negotiations are very limited, but yes, on a case-to-case basis, depending on, relationship, we could certainly extend the same.
Sir, I want to ask you, since we actually discussed before this discussion took over, started off, negotiation is one thing which consumer really is looking at, because till now consumer was sitting on the fence, watching the market, observing the market, how is it performing. But now consumer has actually started investing in, but certainly look for a negotiation, because somewhere down the line consumer knows yes, there is an inventory line and there will be a room of negotiation. do you really think that this offers which are there in the market, which developers usually offer, will be quite helpful for the consumer in terms of getting the right taking the right decision and getting the right property for themselves?
Well, Neha, two things. One is that the offer specific, like for example, 2015, generally liquidity as well as financing available for developers have been a little tough. So certainly when there are initiatives of stock clearance, in Unishire also we had a small initiative last month which did very well for us. But largely in terms of negotiations, I don't think, unless and until we are fairly priced in the market and everybody is well aware of the construction cost as well as the land cost today, and our margins have been reasonable. So in terms of negotiation, there is very little room. And yes, you can definitely compare the price points of that immediate vicinity and evaluate the same, as well as look at the price points of the last, say, 2 or 3 years. And that clearly indicates that there is not much of a room for a developer to offer any form of a discount per se beyond a certain margin, as well as 2 years, construction cost has increased immense, and the proportionate increase in the actual, price of a home hasn't come up. So I think that's another area. Maybe few developers, maybe few projects which might be overpriced from that current micro market, but I think that can be easily evaluated. So negotiation up to a certain extent, maybe easy payment plans could be another model rather than just looking at a basic price per square foot. So that can save on the pre-MIs or the interest component, still possession, or so these are other incentives that can be offered from developers to ensure that there is a commitment on delivery as well as a win-win situation with the buyer as well as the developer. But in terms of a negotiation, very little room. So.
Let's take up the next query. That's Shravan from Bangalore. He's asking, I'm looking for an apartment within budget of rupees 80 lakh to 1 crore. Where should I buy? He's given the option. He's interested in either North or either South Bangalore. So he would like to know the localities where he can really, invest.
Okay. See, in terms of localities, yes, Unishire has been developing most of the projects towards north of Bangalore. North Bangalore primarily because of the proximity to the airport. If you see the infrastructure and the roads are fairly better in comparison to the infrastructure in the other parts of Bangalore, as well as the connectivity with Outer Ring Road to Whitefield and the east part of Bangalore has been fairly good. So I think North is a great location, but yes, specific to where he is working is also the key factor, because the infrastructure in Bangalore and the traffic menace, I think you need to be close to where you're working as well. And look at future prospects. If your children are studying in a particular school, I don't think you would want them to commute far distances every day to travel to school. So I think that needs to be evaluated, but good potential for investments as well as end use are certainly North Bangalore today.
North Bangalore. So which are the localities? Can you just list down a couple of localities for him?
Specifically, if you look at the areas of Thanisandra and Hennur, because the price points over there are on an average of about 4,500 rupees a square foot today, and so you see the affordability is there, as well as good schools in that vicinity and access to the Outer Ring Road. So Thanisandra and Hennur are the two areas, and with the recent Knight Frank report, I think the jump expected in prices to about 7,500 or so in the near term seems to be possible.
So if 4,500 square feet is the price point, price there approximately, so I'm sure that he'll be able to, buy quite a spacious apartment for himself, since he has a budget of 80 to 1 crore rupees.
Certainly, yes, he could buy a very, very nice, lavish 3 BHK home at a good location with all the specifications and amenities in a good development there.
Right, right. So the next query is from Rahul. He's from Marathali. He's saying that I'm looking to buy a 2 BHK with study in Marathali. He wants a study.
All right.
3 BHK it's his option. And what are the rates there? He wants to know. He wants to know the price rates, prevailing in Marathali area.
See, Marathali is a large micro market segment, but if you specify the Marathali to Sarjapur belt towards the Varthur and the Panathur area, I think there are a number of projects available in that particular micro market in the price points of about, I think, 5,000 rupees to 6,000 rupees a square foot. So largely, I think there are plentiful options available in that micro market of Marathali, and depending on the exact location and the product, he could evaluate this. So I think a lot of options available there. A few projects, I would suggest projects which are in these far stages of completion, or where you see clear timelines of delivery are the ones which I would recommend for him to look at in the current scenario.
Okay, okay. Another query is from a user from Sarjapur Road. The groundwater level is at an all-time low in the city. How are you ensuring that there is a continuous water supply in your projects? And are there any alternative sources of water supply that you might have arranged?
Sure. I think that I last week as well, there was an article in the newspaper that I had contributed to on the groundwater level. Yes, certainly it's an alarming rate. Groundwater, in case for the next 10 years, is depleting at a very fast pace. But there are relevant stakeholders. One is we always pinpoint on the government agencies, but beyond the government is as developers and as individuals, what are we doing? So at Unishire, all our projects are green certified gold standard buildings. So what happens in this case is that we reuse, recycle water and harness our natural resources of energy to ensure that we are able to minimize the usage of water. For example, simple things, simple measures like we use low flow water fixtures in our homes. So that doesn't mean that you are efficiently using water, maximizing in terms of how you can save on the overall consumption per family at a particular dwelling. So collectively, as an effort, we need to put in to ensure that all of us contribute to the effective usage of water. And yes, certainly we have put forth that the government needs to take some initiatives to ensure that we have alternate sources of water being available. Because currently, I think beyond 1,000 feet as well, there is the borewells have been dug and rampant usage of borewells. I think so that is to be limited, and I think there is a certain amount of awareness which has been created in the recent past, and certainly all of these stakeholders are working towards addressing this particular situation in Bangalore.
Right, right. There's Angra Srinivas from Bangalore. He intends to purchase a 3 BHK flat. He has a specification as well. He says that 1705 square feet 3 BHK flat he intends to purchase in a prestige Royal Garden project at Yelahanka.
Yes.
Rate quoted is 4,400 per square feet. Please advise on the prospects of the appreciation and development considering the handover date will be the 2017 end.
Very well, great. So that particular micro market of Yelahanka is doing fairly well. In fact, Yelahanka, because of its proximity again to the airport, as well as it's a largely undeveloped neighborhood which has been seeing a lot of development in the recent past. The only challenge in that particular micro market is if you see the distance from say key IT parks, like say for example Manyata Tech Park or Kirloskar Business Park, is quite a distance from there. So the commute there, but yes, at 4,400 rupees a square feet is of great value at that particular location. But there are a lot of projects which are probably closer to the tech park, available at similar price points that he could also evaluate and consider. But yes, from a perspective of Yelahanka as a micro market which has been doing very well, and a new mall that is opening up soon should also add to the overall prospect of development there in Yelahanka.
This is the new mall opening up there, sir?
That is the RMG Galleria Mall that is opening up at the junction of the entrance of Yelahanka. So that mall, as well as plentiful schools in that area, especially like a lot of prominent schools like Vidyashil also are in close proximity. So I think Yelahanka as such as a neighborhood is very good, and generally also if you see the amount of green space available in Yelahanka is a lot more than the other parts of the city. So it feels it's a good area to live in as well.
Okay, not only for investment, but yes, for the end use as well, because everything is in the vicinity. Okay, there's Lekha from Bangalore. She says that which are the top localities in the city that can, pursue, that she can actually look at for the investment purpose. Her budget would be somewhere between 30 to 50 lakh rupees. So she would like to know that which are the cities, which are the localities specifically in this particular city.
See, with the 30 to 50 lakh segment, it's very difficult to get a home, say, within a BBMP area. But if you're looking at far-flung areas, for example, say towards north of Bangalore, beyond Bangalore, right, or beyond Yelahanka, are good areas to look at a possible investment, maybe on apartments or maybe on a plotted development model. Also, the other micro market which is doing well is Hoskote, because of a lot of investments from Japanese companies that have come in there, and a lot of requirements coming towards that part of town because of the close proximity to Whitefield as well as easy access to the airport. So I think these are two areas where you can explore certainly options of the 30 to 50 lakh range. Maybe in apartments, there are quite a few which are coming up in those areas as well as plotted scheme developments there. So these are two key micro markets which would generate good returns on your investment in the near term.
So you said one is Hoskote and other one is?
Hoskote, and the other one is towards north of Bangalore. Anything beyond Bangalore and and further is, so there is a lot of developments in that particular belt as well.
Particularly ask about Hoskote, the Japanese coming up with their setups there. It's been it's quite long. It's been quite long that everybody's talking about it. How do you see this particular market in the last 5 years? Do you see any kind of price change in terms of growing price range in this particular area?
The last 5 years, in fact, it's been a nascent market. Companies are establishing, and now there is a possibility of a price discovery that can happen in the near term, in the future. So if you look at overall prospects of Hoskote are very bright, and yes, because of that road which links directly to the airport rear side terminal, would add to in terms of access to the airport as well as the easy access to Whitefield. So it's more of an extension to Whitefield, and with affordable prices that could be, possible in the Hoskote belt as well.
So today, if she invests, she is, she has to wait for another 5 years to see the results. Is it?
Well, I would, current pace of development, I think there are a lot of, key companies which have solicited interest in further development there. So if you see these companies coming in and investing at a rapid pace as what they have planned, I think you can, expect maybe not just 5 years, maybe in the next 3 years to get good appreciation on a product. But yes, real estate has always been a long-term play, so don't expect a 3-year exit that easy.
Right. There's another one, this Purohit from Electronic City.
Okay.
Wants to know what are the amenities being offered by Unishire projects. Is there any special, is there any special amenity that really being offered by you which makes you stand out from the rest of the developers?
Well, amenities are aplenty. Today, I think amenities with a clubhouse and swimming pool and all are just the regular norm. But beyond which, one is amenity that we see is the green certified homes. I think even for a 50 lakh rupee product today in Unishire is gold certified, which I think is a great amenity which not too many people are offering today in the market. Apart from that, we were the first ones to start, say, car charging bays in our projects, which are a small facet, but it's a great amenity because considering the future with electric cars coming into play, I think that provision and facility is available. Also, very importantly is home automation. Home automation not for the luxury, but it's more of the safety and surveillance and the security that needs to be offered. That's a standard fitment in every home of Unishire as well today.
Right, right. There's a user from Bangalore. There is a villa, he says, in a gated community in Bangalore. Construction is completed and we are asked to occupy it. Do we need an occupancy certificate or just possession certificate is enough, which is given by the builder on his letterhead?
Well, occupancy certificate is definitely mandatory for us to look at, before you occupy the premises. Yes, there are challenges today because there are certain inordinate delays from the departments to secure the occupancy certificate, but that should be a mandatory check before you actually occupy the home.
Right. There's Nitin from Bangalore. He's asking, I'm planning to buy an apartment in areas like Whitefield, HSR layout, Marathalli within a budget of rupees 30 to 40 lakh again. So can you please advise on these locations?
Well, 30 to 40 lakhs, I think, is a stiff budget in terms of availability of apartments there. But yes, towards the fringes of Whitefield, for example, Budikere as a micro market, right? I think there could be a few options available, and that's a good area to look at for investments as well as for an end use.
There's one rental query as well from Devraj. He's asking that I expect to invest in 3 BHK in Electronic City. How much rent I can expect?
See, Electronic City, in fact, has recorded the highest in terms of rental value and the percentage in comparison to the overall outlay for an apartment there. So there has been a mismatch in that particular micro market at times. Instead of renting out a home, it makes sense to buy a home in that particular, because I have seen 5 to 6% rental yields on residential properties in Electronic City. So I think you would fetch very good rental returns in Electronic City. But alternatively, if you're able to avail of home loan, I think it makes good sense to actually buy your own home and create an asset for yourself.
Okay. Another query is from Rakesh from Kanakpura. He would be buying a plot at Kanakpura Road. Would be a good investment for him. Can prove to be a good investment for him.
Kanakpura Road, in fact, is fairly a good micro market again because of the metro. I think the extension of the metro, which is going all the way to the Art of Living ashram. So I think in the future, but we are looking at a long-term play. Kanakpura Road, as such, a prominence of development it's close to the IT corridor, but it's a long-term play when you look at Kanakpura.
Right, right. Another one asked Krishna. He's a Krishna from Bangalore only. He want to purchase a 2 BHK flat in Whitefield. Please tell me what will be the minimum price of 900 square feet apartment.
Well, Whitefield has a wide array of offerings there. In fact, there are a lot of developers who are offering price points of about 4,000 rupees, which is very affordable. So if you look at a 4,000 rupee product with a 900 square feet size of an apartment, is roughly about 36 lakh rupees, and then you add the other charges put together. So I think within a budget of about 43, 45 lakh rupees, you could possibly avail of a good 2 BHK home in that micro market.
Right. When we talk about investing in, when people with a very tight budget, I would also like to, mention about the maintenance charges in Bangalore, basically. Since water is supply of water is a concern in the city, I would like Mr. Mehta to tell about that as well.
See, what we have consciously done at Unishire is that since all our buildings are green certified buildings, they are gold rated, so we are able to save on an average about close to 1,200 to 1,500 rupees on just basic water and electricity charges. So if you evaluate your overall per square feet maintenance cost has come down substantially than what was normally charged to consumers. So I think that measure needs to be effectively incorporated with every development in Bangalore today. And if it's a ready development, I think there are various measures where you can, as a community or as a group, incorporate to ensure the maintenance costs can come down. That's the only way possible to reduce the maintenance costs. Otherwise, there are certain standard amenities and standard requirements that you cannot avoid.
Right. So we just have 1 minute left. I would like you to close this particular session if by telling a consumer that how the market will be in 2016 for Bangalore, in Bangalore. Is there anything that you would like to advise buyers to watch out for before making their purchase in the mentioned top market?
Sure. All right. Neha, thank you for having me on this session. In fact, 2016 is a very bright market. As I mentioned to you earlier, one is the that no new supply in 2015. So I think you would again see demand being created. So it would be a good avenue for developers as well as buyers to exercise their home buying option in 2016. And certainly, I would see some price improvements for the developer because in the last 2 years there have been no increase in prices. So I would recommend buyers to make an informed decision at the earliest rather than delaying and waiting for further price correction. My only advice is that you buy it from a developer where there are certain timelines available in terms of commitments or delivery, or you see visible construction at site and work progressing, which can ensure that your payments are secured and you will get your home within the anticipated time frame, which is the key factor. Also, most importantly, are the developers having their financial closure or access to institutions today to ensure that come what may, the homes will be delivered without delay. So these are the key factors that one has to look at. And 2016, I think it's better that we buy into our homes at the earliest, because if the demand increases again and in the home buying population again, there could be a price improvement, which would help everyone. But then the opportunity for a person to look at a home buy again, the prospects will come down. And I think good payment schemes are available currently right now, so I think that can be also exercised to get a good deal with any developer today.
Right. I thank you, Mr. Mehta, for your valuable time and to share your opinion on this platform.
Thank you very much.
I'm really thankful to our guest speaker, Mr. Mehta, for participating in this Hangout session. It was indeed a great session, and I would also like to thank all our participants for their support in making this Hangout a great session. Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Mehta, and thank you, Neha.
Thank you very much. Thank you all.